The first one is a movie song classic. The second one is potentially the greatest song of all time. So can Men in Black 3 deliver us another brilliant song to dissect on that song from that movie? My sweet baby. Shoop, shoop. Yeah, I'll do. Thank you for joining that song from that movie, the journey through the very best and worst of movie songs. I am your Mr. Worldwide host, Dietrich, and we're joined by the man who would have no problem pimp-slapping the shiznit out of Andy Warhol, Alex.
Yep. But it isn't Andy Warhol, is it? Or is it?
It's definitely not the real Andy Warhol.
Well, no. Yeah, I thought... Well, I mean, they did travel back in time, did they not?
Mm-hmm.
They filmed it a while ago.
I mean, it must be really difficult to piece this together. You know, there's a lot of filming in 1969, and then it's a good job the special effects came in just in time for them to do that part where he falls off the building.
When anyone goes back to the 60s in time travelling, do they go to any year other than 69? Because it's always 69.
Nice.
I think when it happened in Goldmember, it was intentional.
Yeah, probably. I think in every film, Alex, it's intentional.
It's always intentional. Well, it made sense in this film, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
And we're also joined by the man who the young version of would definitely be played by Josh Brolin, Ben.
I would be incredibly privileged for for an any age Josh Brolin to play a young speckled Jinnah.
Yeah, I like the idea of Josh Brolin wearing like a carrot top wig.
Yeah, because, I mean, I know he plays a lot, but I'd consider him to be a character actor, in which he usually plays Josh Brolin. He can play a purple Josh Brolin, but he usually plays Josh Brolin.
Yeah, he played a child to Josh Brolin in The Goonies, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he's still pretty beefed up. In fact, that Josh Brolin is still bigger than Ben at any age.
Ben now. That Josh Brolin could play you now.
31-year-old Ben, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to know in the past fortnight, what have you been watching?
Cha cha cha.
Still love it. I watched The Sea Beast on Netflix. You watched that yet? The animated film.
Not even heard of it.
I'm glad you clarified it.
Yeah. I was just flicking through, looking for random films. It was alright, actually. It's got a decent cast. I don't know if it's anyone famous. I think it's like maybe an ex-DreamWorks director. It's pretty good. Of those, non-big three animated movies.
Would you recommend it, or...?
Yeah, I'd say so. I won't say it was a kid's film. Heads up, Alex. But, yeah, it's decent.
Alex?
I did watch a film this week. It's a film called Ali and Ava, and it is on Netflix, if anyone's interested. But it's set in Bradford, so, that's close to us.
My expectations have gone really low.
But they should be going really high, because it was a very, very good film. I would compare it kind of to Once, but it wasn't a musical, although the music did play a large role in the film.
I was about to say, I don't know if I'd enjoy Once if it didn't have the music.
No, well, I mean, music wasn't born in the film, but it just wasn't a musical in the same way. But it was a similar kind of story and a similar vibe. But it was I personally thought it was better than that, because it was more grounded in realism. It came out, it's a really recent film, I think it came out a few months ago. But yeah, I would really, really highly recommend it. It's very good.
Awesome.
And it's got a song in it called Slave to the Radio, which I have not got out of my head for a very long time.
Good name for a song, though. Like that.
Get on it. Good film.
What about you, D?
It's time for Marvel Corner.
Yeah.
I've been to see Thor. Have you guys seen Thor?
No, I've not seen it. I have COVID.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that aspect.
I've heard not amazing things about it.
It's alright.
It's okay, yeah, that's what most people said.
As with all of Phase 4, other than the Spider-Man movie, they're all 6 out of 10s.
Yeah, it's not been going well so far.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say is, I've watched all of Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, I've watched Ms. Marvel.
I assume you think 6 out of 10 as well?
Yeah, well, maybe slightly less, but yeah.
Interesting, because I thought the first 2 episodes were really good.
Yeah.
And it felt like something interesting, and then it went off a cliff. And it just middled out at 6 out of 10.
Basically. It felt like they used all their creative, stylistic choices in like the first 10 minutes. And this is what we want it to be like. And then just realised how much effort that was and just thought, I can't love it.
Pretty much. Which is a shame, because she's a really good character and it really fits. But the show around her is not that interesting.
Again, all Phase 4, all these new characters. Characters interesting. Who's playing them is pretty good. But then the stories are terrible.
Exactly.
But don't you think, like, if you got to go all the way back to the beginning, the original Phase 1 films weren't that good until the first Avengers film, and that kind of made them better. So, I mean, maybe it's just the same.
I mean, the first Iron Man is decent.
Yeah, they were all okay. Like, none of them were terrible, but there weren't any good ones, were they, really? Not like any really standout films from that first wave.
No.
I mean...
No, I agree. It feels like we're back in Phase 1. That sort of... We're just introducing people for down the line. Obviously, Comic-Con, they announced about 1 billion films. So it is going somewhere.
I'm so exhausted.
Isn't it hard to be like excited about that though as a Marvel fan? Like, there's another 50 films and TV shows coming out. Sooner or later, people are just going to get so fatigued with it that they just can't keep up. I feel like that's already happening.
I am there, yes. I am definitely there.
I'm sure I read the idea with the current phases, you're not supposed to be watching everything. You're supposed to pick and choose what's to you.
It's a stupid model.
Let's just create so much content that somebody is watching something at any given time.
Well, yeah, like that is the streaming way. Look at Netflix, for example. They've absolutely flooded their service with absolute tripe that nobody wants to watch, and it's gone down the shitter.
Where did we go wrong?
Why did we fund 6 Adam Sandler movies?
That was the common joke, wasn't it, throughout like South Park and everything, was that it was just impossible for them to say no.
Exactly. So today's episode is our third exploration into the world of Men in Black 3, and its hit song Back in Time. Unfortunately not by Will Smith, but instead by Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305, Little Chico himself, Armando Pitbull Perez.
Little Chico.
So to find out what was happening in the world when the movie came out,
time for some history.
So stinking rich Manchester City got their hands on the first of many Premier League titles in what is arguably the best moment in Premier League history.
It is the best moment.
So I'm of course talking about the Aguero goal. If either you want to give that a crack, go for it.
No, I think that's probably the best.
No, that'll do.
That'll do.
For me, this is a real like, where were you moment.
Mm-hmm.
I know where I was, because I was working in a call centre, huddled around, like 6 or 7 is huddled around somebody's phone who just happened to be a Man United fan, which made it all the sweeter.
I was in Grad Bar on Lancaster University campus, and there was a really great moment where there had been a guy who had been sat at the bar the entire time in a jacket, and when that goal went in, he ripped off his jacket and he was wearing a Man City shirt, and he ran around the room. Because the bar,
confidence.
again...
You needed the confidence.
Well, the bar was filled with Man United fans, so that made it all the sweeter as well. Similar story.
Nice.
I was in a corner shop buying a full pack of chocolate digestives, which were consumed before the final whistle.
Amazing.
And I did not go before the match started.
Was it one of those extra long packs, or was it like a normal size pack?
I couldn't afford those.
Okay. So you bought 2 normal packs.
Yeah, 2 normal packs.
In the art world, a pastel version of Edvard Munch's famous expression work, The Scream, goes on sale. So I assume you both know which piece of artwork I'm referring to there.
Yeah.
The Macaulay Culkin face.
But always confused me that there's many different versions of that done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a revelation for me as well when I was putting this history segment together. I assumed there was just one.
Yeah, at least, I think people who like to sort of say, oh, it was stolen, and then with like an asterisk, it's like one of several.
One of 25,000 versions.
Do you want to guess how much it went for?
Ooh, God, I've not got a marker.
90 million.
Yeah,
pounds.
I was 25 million.
It's 119 million.
Yeah, okay.
I'm making that face.
I didn't write down what currency though.
Probably dollars, I imagine, if it's...
Probably dollars, yes, yeah. Probably dollars.
So close to 90 million pounds. In fact, dead on. Thanks.
Especially when you account for inflation at the time.
Of course, exactly. Which I always do.
But the biggest news story of the month, and I mean this for real, so strap yourself in.
For realsies.
The biggest news story of the month takes us to Baku, where a relatively unknown singer going by the name of Loreen wins the 57th edition of the Eurovision Song Contest with a little song called Euphoria.
I thought you'd have a button there to press that just a little song called Euphoria. But no.
Probably the greatest song of all time.
I mean,
it's definitely up there.
It was certainly voted the best song of that year.
So, yeah, if we were to do and that song from that movie poll of all songs being eligible, it would win.
It would certainly be up there.
It should get at least 2 votes.
Yeah.
And in Eurovision news, today, it's been announced that the next Eurovision is going to be in the UK.
Yes.
Come on, Leeds.
Come on, Leeds.
Glasgow's the favourite.
Would we be doing that song from that movie, Road Trip? to the first ever arena.
Road trip down the road.
Well, for Ben.
Your road trip, yeah.
So we have to travel all the way down to Norwich to do a road trip back to where we live.
Yeah. Ben, did you just reference Euro trip?
Well, your road trip, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, Matt Damon can come along. Why haven't I done that? Side.
We definitely need to exhaust a few other options first. We've got this legendary song to cover.
We've got another Men in Black to go after this one.
Yeah.
So anyway, we are talking about Men in Black 3 eventually, which was released in May 2012. I can't remember if I said that or not, but you should have guessed.
Well, everyone knew that
because that is when Lorene's Euphoria came out.
yeah. As soon as you said,
everyone knew where they were when that happened.
Yep. I was in the corner shop again buying another pack of.
I was in a call centre huddled around a phone. It just happened to be the fact that the guy's phone, he was a Moldova fan, and he turned it off in anger.
Of course he did.
Anyway, so Men in Black 3, once again, is directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, the third in the main trilogy of the Men in Black films, and probably the last one we'll talk about, because I don't think anyone wants to do Men in Black International.
Nope.
So it's a time-travelling romp. When arch-nemesis of Agent K, Boris the Animal, escapes from the moon prison he has been incarcerated in, Boris seeks his revenge by going back to 1969 and killing young Agent K. For some reason, in the now altered future, Agent J is unaffected and cannot find the now deceased 40-year-old K. So for some reason, he goes back in time to prevent Agent K's death and ends up meeting a younger version of Agent K. Hilarity ensues. Did we follow that? Did we follow it in the film?
Yes. I followed it in the film, yeah.
Yeah, I followed it in the film. It's much more succinct than your description of it.
Thank you. We all love the first movie. We all dislike the second movie. What are your initial thoughts on the third movie?
It's in the middle.
Yep, it's in the middle for me.
It was one of those, like, you just didn't need it. I remember when they announced it, I was like, why? And when they said time travel, of course they're doing time travel. Mm-hmm. But it was fine. It just wasn't needed. I liked the sentiment of it, but I hate people that change narratives in films that aren't pre-planned because you're trying to give more weight to something that just never needed it in the first place. I think they did it well, and I'm referring to, spoiler, the fact that Jay's dad died, and then you find out that Kay's been looking over him this entire time.
Yeah.
I do think they do it well, I just didn't need it.
Well, I mean, I don't know when you guys saw this film, probably in 2012. But, I mean, I was too busy watching Lorene, so I missed it. I was just watching it over and over.
Just watching it, not listening. Just watching.
Both. Over and over again. So I only watched this today, and
wow.
I actually thought it was pretty good. Like, I thought it was going to be awful, like the second one, but actually I thought it was quite fun. Even, like, with all the time travel, it still made a lot more sense than Men in Black 2. It was a lot more enjoyable to watch, and it was just a bit of a fun romp, which I think the second one just completely missed, didn't it? Like, it just wasn't fun. It wasn't enjoyable at all. I think obviously there's that horrible plot line where Jay has to kind of get Kay's memory back, which is just so painful. I mean, in this one, they just decided not to have Tommy Lee Jones in it, which probably wise, I think. But yeah, I thought that the ending as well was surprisingly emotional. I was like, like you said, but I think they tied that all together quite well. And actually, the time travel aspect of it, I think, did sort of work. Like, I never really felt like it was, because a lot of the time when you watch any film with time travel, you're always trying to say, well, that doesn't make sense, or that doesn't quite tie up. But it seemed to all kind of connect. I was confused initially why Jay wasn't affected by the time travel, but then there was the whole thing about him being there already. Mm-hmm. Oh, so he's already there, he's already been there, so he's already done it, so why did Kay disappear? That's what I couldn't quite get. Like, if he'd have already done this, then how come it affected the future? It's all a bit muddled, that part, but I thought that it didn't matter ultimately. So I think, as a film, I thought it was actually quite good. It was kind of like the kind of sort of fun, sort of rompy film that they don't really make anymore. I guess like superhero films are similar to it, aren't they? Or have taken over the mantle from films like this. But yeah, I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I think it is pretty good. As much as I made fun of it during the synopsis, and it does fall somewhere in the middle. Like it definitely does not reach the heights of the first one. It's just not as well-rounded as a film as that one, but it's just so much better than the second one. I feel like that's the actual justification for this film. that the second one was so badly received that they felt they had to do a third one.
I think
almost like undo it.
I think they find reasons. I mean, they made a fourth one, and by that cycle, like if they made the fourth one because the third one was quite liked, and then the fourth one was hated, we'll get an infinite number of Men in Black films because they always find a reason.
Yeah, until they finally remake the first one, scene by scene.
yeah. Starring Jaden Smith.
Don't give him ideas.
It's one of those things, like, Alex, obviously you watched it for this pod. I just feel like I will never watch it again. Whereas the first one, if it's on TV, I'm inclined to watch it. There's a draw to it. It was that time, and I guess Will Smith was gold dust. I don't get the same feeling with this film as much as I thought they did it well, and I think I enjoyed it when I watched it. It's gone from me now, and that's it. Which is that enough? I guess they got my money.
Yeah, that's all I care about.
Will.
I think in that first one, you've got Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith are just like this perfect pairing. And they do, to an extent, recapture some of the magic with Josh Brolin here. I think it is a really good impression that he does.
Oh, yeah.
It does freshen it up enough to feel different without being too detached from the trilogy. But there's just that spark isn't there that is there in the first one and isn't there in the second one.
Yep.
Critically, the movie lands in the middle of the trilogy, with a respectable 68% on Rotten Tomatoes, which seems, again, about fair. It's all very sort of everyone in agreement, handshaking, going, yes, job well done, guys. Let's leave the franchise here and never speak about it again.
If only.
I did write these notes a while ago, so I've got a section here about the New York Times. Back when that used to be the main point of this podcast. So the New York Times said it was a movie of no particular agenda, which is why it's so much fun. Which I thought was weird because it's quite a strong thread about like racial inequality in the 60s.
Yeah, it's an odd. Just on that, it is odd, isn't it? Because it comes up when he first goes back there, but I feel like then it's kind of brushed under the carpet for the rest of the film and never doesn't seem to be referenced. So it was kind of odd, though.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's definitely there. It's definitely present. It's in the film. It's just it just went nowhere.
What's really odd about this is that the New York Times review did not mention anything misogynistic at all, and this was a movie that starred like height of her powers Nicole Scherzinger.
I mean, starred is a strong word.
Lily Poison.
I was really confused by her role in this film because she was in it for all of like 1 minute of screen time and then was just like died. I didn't understand.
It's like her role in Moana.
Why is
she in it?
Confusing.
She sings one line. You got for a musical. You have Nicole Scherzinger, and she sings one line.
This is news to me.
She's the plays the mum.
Does she?
She builds the leaves to build fires and cooks up the meat inside, Ben.
That's it, yeah. That one line that Alex just said then, that's all she sings. It makes no sense.
Fair enough.
But not the only member of that cast of Moana who is in this film. Because obviously Jermaine Clement is in both.
Oh, yes. Shiny.
Much like Men in Black 1 and 2, this movie had so many script rewrites and production problems. So we should be glad, really, he landed closer to the first one than the second in terms of quality. I'm going to run through some of the changes. So the initial storyline was proposed by Will Smith himself during the making of the second one, which either means he was very confident in Men in Black 2, or knew he was making a dud and had to already start coming up with new ideas. The director liked the idea and began fleshing it out, eloquently describing the process as very long. The first fork in the road was the director, though. Apparently Will Smith didn't want him back because there was conflicts on the set of the second one, but that's all I could find. And I guess they worked it out because he directed this one too.
He probably signed a 2-picture deal or something like that, or had a contract with the studio, so they were like, let's just get him out of the contract with the third film.
Yeah, maybe.
Usually, when they sign 2-picture deals, which I think most directors do, it's like one for them, one for me. I think he might have been wanting to do his one for me, and they were like, that's a terrible film. Give him Men in Black 3.
Yeah. The next change was scriptwriter Ethan Coen, fresh off his success with Tropic Thunder, came in and, in all intents and purposes, wrote the script, taking Will Smith and Barry Sonnenfeld's work and apparently making it into a fully fledged movie. So how bad was that first script that he wasn't even considered a movie the first time around? They then got in David Cope, that's the guy who wrote the first Spider-Man Sam Raimi film, and also the fourth Indiana Jones. Well, let's not talk about that one.
God.
And also Jeff Nathanson as a duo who wrote Rush Hour 2 and 3.
Oh my God, they got all the big jobs in this then. Rush Hour 2.
Exactly. Well, they came in to punch up the script and said that they only rewrote the bits in 1969, but that's like 4/5 of the movie.
That's the film.
Yeah, so we're up to like 4 rewrites of this film and no one seems to be happy with it. So of course the next step is to start filming. So they started filming without a finished script, and Sonnenfeld said of the experience, "We knew when we started the movie that we didn't have a finished second or third act. Was it responsible? The answer is, if this movie does well, as I hope it does, it was genius."
It's like, well, if I get a good grade, then it's all worth it.
If I don't get caught, speeding was fine.
Yeah, it is. It's a flawed logic, isn't it? If I've done well, then it's fine.
Then it all worked out as it should.
Yeah. If I win, then I've won.
So, guys, what's a Will Smith episode without talking about the awards season?
Yeah, bring the Grammy.
Well, this is the first episode we've had since Will Smith selfishly ruined our EGOT joke.
Yep.
Obviously, Men in Black 3 received no Oscars, no Golden Globes, no BAFTAs.
Mm-hmm.
But like the second movie, it was nominated for visual effects. I mean, again, I think it's probably a nomination that is warranted.
It had special effects, yes.
It did lose, though, to Avengers Assemble.
Well, yeah.
So,
fair.
Yeah.
I mean, the special effects in this one are much better than the special effects in the second one.
Oh, God.
I think the special...
Other than the worms.
The
worms are definitely better in the second one.
The worms are amazing in the second one. But the worms are barely in this one. There was the part, like I mentioned in the beginning, when he was jumping off the building to time travel. There was like a weird thing going on with the CGI there. It was a bit like Harry Potter-esque, I guess, around the same time. It had weird CGI and a lot of, when you watch like the Quidditch matches and stuff.
Yeah.
It was kind of reminded me of that.
Everything looks very squidgy.
Yeah.
I remember one thing that annoyed me about this film.
Go on.
The bloody car. What the heck have they replaced the car with? It went from that the Ford Victoria, that incredible like saloon car that they kind of have when they go back to it, and it's this like terrible it's a Ford still, and they use Ford so much, and they keep flashing Ford, and it's even in the bloody music video for what we're about to talk about. But this car, I'm gonna have to look it up what it is. It's shocking. No government agency would be driving this thing. I suppose it helps you blend in, but in the first one they weren't bothered about that, and that car is awesome.
I thought you were referencing those weird like gyro circle.
Oh no! A Ford Taurus. It looks shocking. If you compare that, before it go on the yeah. Look, I'm gonna just...
No, keep listening. He's got a point.
Why, if you're the same company, if you're going from Ford to Ford, why would you swap to make a worse car? There must have been a new car that come out. It was all... It
must have been that.
Oh, God. I don't know who to blame. David Cross, I'll blame you.
And so we move on to the official song of the movie, and sadly we're not speaking about another Will Smith classic. I guess we have to talk about Pitbull.
I guess.
So the song we're discussing is Back in Time, which samples Love is Strange by Mickey and Sylvia, which itself is that song from that movie, because it was in Dirty Dancing. Well, maybe we'll talk about that in the future.
Something that Pitbull often does in his music videos. Very Dirty Dancing.
Anyway, Pitbull's effort, in my opinion, is just terrible. Like, coming off the back of Men in Black in the first one, and the greatest song of all time, Nod Your Head, in the second one, the pressure was on for Pitbull to deliver, and this just is not it. I
forgot how much you like that song. But this is Mr. Worldwide. Picture him with a Kodak, or better yet, go to Times Square and take a picture of me with a Kodak. Two of the best lines in any song ever.
Well, I mean, his bank says they were two of the greatest lines.
It still doesn't make sense.
Does it need to make sense if he's getting that green?
Me not working hard, yeah, right, picture that with a Kodak. Or better yet, go to Times Square and take a picture of me with a Kodak. I just don't get it. And my wife knows how much I hate the same word rhyming with the same word twice. Sorry, I've been meaning to get it off my chest.
That's fine. Well, I've got plenty of time to talk about Pitbull. Don't worry. You know he's trying to do the time travel, mix old with new as the basis of the song, but it just misses the mark, in my opinion, I guess. But I'm assuming it's a shared opinion. What do you guys think of this song?
Yeah, it's a shared opinion. I think what I didn't get... Well, first of all, today is the first time that I have ever heard this song before. Obviously not Love is Strange, because I have seen Dirty Dancing many times. But this adaptation of it. I think what struck me as the most confusing was that I looked it up and that song is from the 1950s. This film is set in the 1960s, in fact, 69 specifically. Could he not have sampled a song more from that time? Wouldn't that have made more sense?
Do you think he checked when it was from when he made the song?
Well, I don't know.
Do you think he had any involvement whatsoever in the writing of this song?
I don't know. I don't know enough about Pitbull to know what his writing methods are. I just thought it was really weird. I felt like it was an easy thing to do, was to just sample a different... Because it's not like he needs this song. It's not like this song adds anything. Unless it was like a reference to the fact that it was from another film. But the film it is from, that is most synonymous with, is a film from the 80s. So, although it was a film from the 80s about the 60s, which is still not from when this song was from.
It is a bit of 6 degrees of separation there that he's trying to help them out.
Yeah, I didn't care for it, really. There's a reason why it only featured in the end credits. I feel there was nowhere that it fit in the film itself. And like, it was even when it was on in the credits, I was like, well, I only know this is the song because he's said it's Pitbull, it's Mr. Worldwide, it's Mr. 305.
Little Chico.
I mean, I wondered whether part of the reason why he got the gig from this is because he has Mr. Worldwide in his name, and that kind of sounds like something that would be like a character from Men in Black. But then it should really be like Mr. Universe or Mr. Intergalactic or something, not Mr. Worldwide.
Throughout the song as well, he keeps making these like little quips and jokes that are like references and laughing as if like you're in on the joke. And you're like, what you on about, Pitbull? I had to like he'll say like, oh, Agent A, and then like laughs, and you're like, what? And then I look up his name, and he's like, oh, his first name is like, what is it? Armando. And I was like, oh, maybe that's why it is. And he's like laughing as if like, you get it. I'm like, no.
You know me.
Give me a few minutes, Pitbull. I might do in a minute. But he keeps doing this, like making like time jokes, and he's like, do you get it? And I'm like, wait a second. Oh, I see what you're trying to do here, Armando.
My absolute favourite thing is in the video, he actually uses the neuralizer at the end. It's like he almost wants you to forget about the song. He's like, the song is so...
That's a good point.
It's so bad you need to forget about it. And I will forever after this podcast episode.
Well, I did watch an interview of Pitbull about the song, in which he spoke for 2 minutes about its creation, and it's all waffle and nonsense. Like, he vaguely spoke about meeting Will Smith, and then went on to say that he never spoke about making the record.
They were in the same bar in the video.
They were, yeah.
Were they?
I mean, he was at the Andy Warhol. What's the club called? I forget.
Oh, no.
The very famous club.
Warehouse. Is it Warehouse? I think it's
Warehouse. Maybe. I was getting confused with that studio or whatever.
But, guys, who am I to speak on Pitbull's behalf? Here's the man himself.
As far as the sounds in the record, it's just things making it more modern, something that people can dance to, something about the clubs. It doesn't necessarily have to be where it's more Latin or more hip-hop or more, I just call it global music. And when you bring something together with such an amazing sample that everybody knows, an amazing franchise such as Men in Black 3, and then you bring modernized sounds to it, not only do we have a hit, we have like a hit. It's like a hat trick.
My favourite part of that is, if you watch the actual video, it goes, a hit, and you can see his brain go, I need another word here. Hit.
Nice, yeah. He keeps referencing this global thing, though, and it's because his album was called Global Warming. That it was on.
It's because global music.
Yeah, but global warming is just like the...
It's not a good thing, Pitbull.
It's not a good thing.
Yeah, as we've experienced this week.
Is he suggesting that he's responsible for global warming?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he could be.
It's probably all his private jets travelling worldwide with his global music.
Yeah. Pitbull makes the world go round.
And it was The Factory. And it's actually referenced in the film, The Factory. That's where Andy Warhol's warehouse. It wasn't Warehouse, it was The Factory.
Yeah, so in this interview that clip was from, and I'll put a link to the interview in the show notes if you want to hear the whole thing. He's not prepared for any question about the song or the music video, but it's like done during the filming of it. So he's dressed as Agent A.
Isn't that just how he always dresses?
Well, he keeps calling himself Agent A, saying, look how I'm dressed. It's like he's trying to convince the people on the set that if he does really well, he could be in the next one.
And is he?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I've not seen the new one.
I think he often rocks an open top shirt and suit combo.
Oh, and here he's wearing a tie. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I'm wearing a tie.
In the critically acclaimed stomper of a hit, Timber.
Yeah.
Which...
That's a good song, though.
Yeah, I mean, how can we argue with someone that has 1.3 billion listens on YouTube?
You can't.
But he does like to just be in random places, just kind of stood. Because in that video, he's just like on some rocks in the middle of an ocean, even though the song has a very country feel, and he don't know where he is. He's just where he wants to be.
He's around the world. He's worldwide.
He is. Yeah, he is.
It's global music.
It's global, yeah.
We'll hear more from that interview later on.
Can't wait.
Just to let you know, just to keep the carrot dangling there for the listener.
Yeah.
So the song did pretty well with the general public somehow, going 2 times platinum in America and 4 times platinum in Canada. Maybe the threshold for going platinum in Canada must be much lower than it is everywhere else in the world. Because, I mean, Alex, you didn't even know this song existed until today, let alone popular enough to go 4 times platinum.
No, it's no Hotel Motel Holiday Inn, is it?
Is that the name of the song?
I don't know.
Hotel Motel Holiday.
So I suppose the real story here is not what this song is or who it was sang by. It's what this song wasn't and who it's not sang by. Because why didn't Will Smith write the theme tune or sing the theme tune?
It's a good question.
It is a good question. One, apparently, the internet is not interested in. Because I spent absolutely fucking ages trying to find any mention of why Will Smith did not do the song for this. And I couldn't find anything. Eventually, stumbling upon some Reddit threads saying that the reason why he couldn't commit to writing, performing, doing the music video is because he was too busy filming After Earth. I hope for his sake that's not the case.
He should not have been.
I did look into the production times of After Earth.
God, this man's done his research.
And maybe lines up, but it's a music video. It'd take you 2 days. I mean, clearly his music video for Pitbull took him 25 minutes. So I have to assume there was a down day during After Earth because they weren't working on the actual movie.
Is that the one where it's him and Jaden Smith?
Yeah, and everyone living on Earth has died, and they've been in a spaceship. Or
M. Night Shyamalan.
Is it M. Night Shyamalan?
M. Night Shyamalan, yeah. I mean, he generally only makes terrible films now.
Well, I don't know. What was it? The one that was the threequel to...
For every one you can say, I can say 3.
Split?
Yeah, Split was good.
Well, yeah, but then we had Old. Have you seen Old?
Old?
That got good reviews,
No,
didn't it?
I did not. You watch Old, it is terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
The Village. Terrible.
Yeah, The Village is
Signs.
amazing. He has Signs is amazing. Unbreakable is amazing.
Sixth Sense.
Oh, yes, got Sixth Sense. Yeah, we didn't mention that one.
The Last Airbender.
And then he's got about 12 others that are shocking.
Fair. Talking of shocking, the music video is another step down. We've hinted at it a few times, so let's actually talk about it.
Not good.
The first music video, again, perfect. It encapsulates everything about the film, everything you need to know about the franchise. The second one, it was alright, didn't match up to the song. But this one just feels like it was filmed in a generic sewer set that they had lying around from, I don't know, but they're filming one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films at the time. And a bar from New Girl. And just went, yeah, that'll do.
It does look like the bar from New Girl.
There is an attempt made to have Agent A blend in with the movie scenes, because apparently it worked on Alex, because he thought he was having a drink with Will Smith himself.
Convince me.
A process that Pitbull described as sophisticated integration.
I mean, it might be the most sophisticated he's done.
But who am I to speak on Sir Pitbull's behalf?
Oh, right, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
So to hear the man describing the music video himself...
I'm sitting back.
Here we go.
When you talk about Agent A, you gotta have the sexy women.
Of course.
So there's definitely sexy women. We're just getting started right now as we speak. We're warming up. We have a very beautiful, beautiful Colombian woman that's in the scenes with me right now. Her name is Joanna. And then we have Cuban women and we have Mexican women. I mean, this is that's my new name. Agent A/United Nations. I bring them all together, baby.
What?
I think that speaks for itself.
Special Agent A/United Nations.
It's like he's playing one of those games, when he's been on a radio show early that morning and said, how many times can you mention the word, mention women, just, away from the question? Because it's like he's got ADHD or something. He's just gone. He can't remember what the question was. In fact, you know what? I can't remember what the question was he was trying to answer. He just went elsewhere. Just started talking about all the different nationalities of the women that he's, getting to do derogatory things, probably. I mean, at least put them in the suits. They've done in other films. They do in the other videos. Yeah. There's no sort of and they're wearing some sort of dominatrix outfit in this little cafe.
Yeah, it's trying to replicate the dress that Nicole Scherzinger's character's kind of wearing at the beginning, isn't it? I think that's sort of what it's trying to do. I think Yeah, I think what's saddest about the video and the song is that like it felt like it was such an integral part of what Men in Black was, especially in the first film. Like the song was massive, and it was just like it felt like it was whole part of the package, and like they really thought about that extended kind of connection that music and film has. Whereas with this one, it's just like so throwaway, and I just don't get it because it's like Will Smith is literally right there. Like, isn't that the whole point? Like, I don't understand. Yeah. It was the one thing I was looking forward to like hearing from your research, and obviously you haven't been able to find anything because for some reason the internet is has hidden whatever actually happened there. But I really wanted to understand it because I just feel like I can't. My mind can't wrap around why Pitbull is doing the theme song and why it's so crap. Well, I mean, I can understand why Pitbull is doing a crap song. I can understand that part of it. I just can't understand why it's Pitbull and why it's not Will Smith.
Yeah, because if it had been Will Smith, it would have been like hit, hit.
Yep, sad trick.
Song after song. All round stinker, this one, really.
No, it wasn't good.
Thankfully, we won't have to do Men in Black International because it didn't have an official song.
I mean, what is that about?
I had an unofficial song of London Bridge by Fergie. It was only in like a 15-second clip, but it was like the entire trailer. So like, if you put Men in Black International song, it comes up with London Bridge Fergie.
That is one of the worst.
Which is a great song.
No.
You're only getting annoyed because the video is Tower Bridge.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Top 5.
Top 5 time. So, we've had a lot of tomfoolery and buffoonery on this episode. And you know who's not a fan of that?
Pitbull?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, yeah, of course. Tommy Lee Jones.
As he couldn't sanction the buffoonery of Jim Carrey on Batman. But he's only partly in this, but has had a very illustrious career. So I'm interested if you guys can put together Tommy Lee Jones' top 5 films based on their worldwide box office. Now, franchises I will count as the one film, like the highest grossing film.
Okay.
So, for example, Men in Black, there will be just one Men in Black film. So, but I want you to try, before you lock in together, put the 5 in.
So it's box office, did you say, Ben?
Worldwide box office, Tommy Lee Jones films.
Okay. So I assume Men in Black will be in there, you would think. And then probably also...
You got to lock them in. You got to lock them in order.
In order. Well, Batman Forever as well will probably be in it.
He was in Captain America. That probably made some money.
Was he in that?
He was in the first Avenger. He was one of the Army Corporal guys.
Oh, fair enough. He was in... No Country for Old Men. He was in that, and that won Best Picture. But I don't know if that would have done that well at the box office.
Yeah, did that translate to that sweet dollar?
Yeah. Well, not in comparison to Men in Black, I imagine.
Because Men in Black was like a Memorial Day weekend thing, wasn't it? So, and it was Will Smith off the back of Independence Day, so I'm assuming that must have done well.
I think Men in Black won. If he was in Captain America, that surely would be high. But that was one of the first Avengers films, wasn't it?
It was a phase one-er. So I don't know if it did that well. So I am struggling to think of any films he's in.
Was he in that Abraham Lincoln film? The one with
Lincoln.
Daniel Day-Lewis? That he was in that, I think. That would have done quite well.
Played Thaddeus Stevens.
Yeah, he was in that. I'm trying to think of like films that he's actually been in.
It's difficult.
That would have been huge. I mean, maybe he was in other franchises.
This is tough. This is legitimately tough.
Oh, I'm surprised. I'm surprised you can't get 5 films. He's in one film that is pastiched in so many, spoofed in so many, like, it's in Simpsons, it's in Family Guy. We'll tell you when you get it. Okay. Of the ones that you know, where are you going to put them? You've said a few films.
Yeah, well, Men in Black, I think, 1.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yep.
Batman, 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Captain America 3.
Yep.
I mean, we've named 2 others. I mean, those are the 2 I can think of.
Lincoln and No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, No Country for Old Men 4, Lincoln 5.
Yep. Okay.
Do you think Small Soldiers did well? Because he was in that, wasn't he?
Was he?
Well, he was one of the voices.
Was he one of the voices in Small Soldiers?
Yeah.
He was, made a Chip Hazard.
Oh, well, that would have done better than the last 2. Definitely. Well, put that 4. Put that 4. No! Sure it was a huge film at the time, that was a huge film.
Only because the PS1 game was fantastic.
I mean, the PS1 game was amazing.
It was scary.
It was scary.
Is Small Soldiers going in?
I think no.
Okay. You don't think so? Okay.
Are you locking in?
Yeah, go on then.
You got 2 out of 5 in the correct positions, which is not bad to say how much you were struggling with that. So, the highest grossing Tommy Lee Jones film is Men in Black 3. The worldwide box office is $654 million. The next film, one that you didn't say, he was in the Jason Bourne film. So not one of the Bourne trilogy, the next one. He plays the director.
I wouldn't have even known that.
The third is Captain America, the first Avenger, so you got that in the right position.
Oh, wow, okay.
The next is The Fugitive,
which
is joked in so many... Yeah, he's the guy that's chasing...
Harrison Ford.
When there's a shot when they're on the sewage, at the end of the...
What with the
janitor? But it's animated, so you don't think of it as him. Because it's Harrison Ford in the film, but I've never seen the film.
His grandpa jumps down. I forget what happens.
Is it not Millhouse?
Yeah, it's Millhouse. Yeah, it's. And then fifth is Batman Forever. So you got that in the wrong position. So you got that as a film. Small Soldiers is way down. It's like top 20. And there's other films. There's Lincoln, JFK, Double Jeopardy, No Country for Old Men, Under Siege, which I'm surprised you didn't even mention.
Under Siege.
He's in Under Siege,
of course.
It's time to do movie or song.
Film.
Do you remember when we started this podcast and movie or song? I don't know which it's going to be. It feels like the last few times we've done this, it's just been obviously one or obviously the other. I miss the days when it was, an actual challenge.
We like films.
Yeah, so movie or song?
The film. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm fine for both to go away. Bye-bye.
The film was surprisingly better than I thought it would be. Therefore, it's deserving winner.
Alex, if it was a choice between Pitbull and Men in Black 3, what would you go for?
To save?
Yes, yeah.
Men in Black 3.
Men in Black 3 and Pitbull are dangling over cliff.
So it's like one of them's either the DVD of Men in Black 3 and one is a human being Pitbull. Yeah. And yet I still am edging towards that DVD.
Nice.
Yeah.
The final film.
He's saying, I'll buy you the DVD. I'll buy you one.
No, but it won't exist. It won't exist, Pitbull. It's the final film reel.
It's like the original hard copy.
Yeah, and it's the only one left. Because the aliens took all the other copies. So now we're just left with the one. And I have to choose between that. Preserving that for all of humanity. Or Pitbull.
This is for our 40-degree weekend, Pitbull.
I know what I'd choose.
Okay, so that brings us into another episode of That Song from That Movie. Let us know which one you prefer, the movie or the song, on Twitter. Ben, what is our Twitter handle?
@TSFTMPod.
So you can help the podcast out in many ways, and one of those ways is on Reddit. But Alex, what random subreddit should the listeners share it to this week?
Oh, God. I mean, I'm sure there is a Mr. Worldwide global music subreddit.
The global warming subreddit?
The global warming subreddit.
Got climate change subreddit?
Yeah, Greta Thunberg.
Nice.
So you can help the podcast by telling all your friends, leaving reviews, signing up to our Patreon, and buying our merch. All the links are in the show notes. So all that's left now is to do some goodbyes. So it's goodbye from myself, goodbye, and goodbye from Alex.
This episode has been my favourite moment in human history, unless this is the one where Ben says something stupid in his outro.
And goodbye from Ben.
I could be Agent B.
Oh no! Looks out of window, comet. Mushroom cloud in the distance.
Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
It'll see ya.
Yeah. Winning that Oscar and definitely faking a slap.
We give it a rest, D.
I think it's been long enough now that we can agree it was a work.
Stop tweeting about it. I know, I keep seeing your tweets, D. Give it a rest.
It was a work.
Give it a rest.
It was a work. It certainly wasn't.
Certainly wasn't a work, but let's move on.